Hi, let me show you how the load testing works on EHR base and what I'm doing to test the load tester. So here I have Wireshark and I will capture what is going to EHR base. I have EHR base in a virtual machine with this IP here running. So this is capturing what is going from my machine, host machine, to the virtual machine. On my host machine here I have a terminal window and I have here the test EHR or tester. I will create one EHR. I will commit 1000 compositions complying with this OPT. I am testing different OPTs that I have from my examples. And here is a physical activity document that I have for testing. And also I pass an AQL here for testing the query after the commit is done. So I will send this. So it will create one EHR. It will check if the OPT is in the server. If it's not in the server, we'll upload it. Then we'll start creating each composition. The compositions are in the JSON format and are auto-generated using this OPT on the fly. So those are auto-generated and now are being committed, and I can see 204. That means OK was received OK. So all of those are actual commits of compositions. You can see the URL there. So it's the EHR ID / composition. And finally, when all the 1000 compositions are committed, the test query will be executed. And this is just a simple query I have on the code of the project here. Yeah. Right now, these queries are very, very simple. We had an issue with the querying that wasn't working. Now it's working, so I was able to test some of the queries that I created. So it's the full body, it's not just the AQL. This is what is sent to the post query endpoint in the API, and the queries are very basic, are very simple, comparing a couple of fields. So this are some toy examples. This doesn't require a lot of processing. Also, I don't add more than 2 levels of contains, so it will be in another round useful to create some more complex queries with more than 2 levels of contains and more complex conditions in the where expression. Yeah. So I have the OPTs in the project also. This is the tester project. The OPTs are here and the correspondent queries are here. I am creating the queries while I'm adding new OPTs to test. So with each one of these, I test on this way. I just run the job and I watch the results here. If there are any errors in the, for example, commits or the generation of the JSONs or the commits, I check the error and I try to fix it in the code, and then I come back again and try to execute successfully. So for this one, I requested to create 1000 compositions and the server received correctly 1000 compositions. So this was a good run. I'm still getting some issues with null flavors. And for the query to run, it took just 130 milliseconds. And that is a simple query that is related with the OPT I pass as a parameter for this run. Yeah. If I check here, this is the last step. So this is the query, and what I'm doing is I'm checking the commits are correct here, but also I'm checking that I'm getting results in the response. So this is the query call to the endpoint, query AQL. This is the query that is on the JSON, but the EHR ID is replaced because in the JSON I don't have the EHR ID of the EHR that was created. Yeah, so I need the EHR ID to fill the parameter, the EHR ID here. Yeah, so that is replaced on the run also when I'm running this. If I create EHRs, I get the EHR IDs that I created, and I just change this value for a valid EHR. So I should get some values on the results, and this result shows some values. I have the columns here, and the rows are here. The rows is just the composition IDs, because I'm getting just the ID of the composition that complies with this condition. Yeah, the contains and blah blah blah. This could be also more complex. I can retrieve, for in a later stage, I can retrieve more values in the projection here. Also add more contains levels, and also are more complex conditions in the where. Yeah, I also can remove the limit here. Yeah, right now I'm limiting the results. So if I'm committing 1,000 EHRs, but here I'm just querying for 20, this query will run really fast. So those are different things that I need to try. There are a lot of combinations. It's like testing queries. So to have a real feel of the time that it takes to get the data for different queries, it depends on the complexity of the query, I guess, and also on the load of the server. So we have two things. We have to load the server with a lot of information, but also create queries that, for some simple queries, we know that will run fast. We need to add more complexity to more, I don't know, realistic queries or more complex queries to see if those also run fast or not. Yeah, but there are many combinations, like as I said, adding more contains levels, adding more projections, adding more conditions in the where, and removing or maybe increasing the limit on the results. Yeah, because if I change this, I will get more results, and the query will take more to execute, because it just needs more time to transport more data, because the JSON in the results will be bigger. Yeah. So right now I'm also testing on the same machine, virtual machine and host machine. So these times are really small. I don't have internet delays or anything in the middle, and the result is very small also. So these are very fast right now. It just takes some time to commit all the compositions. Yeah, but those are the things that I'm doing. So debugging what is on the network is really time consuming, and generating more examples, OPTs and queries is also time consuming. So this will need a little more time to finish, and we need to reach certain level of complexity, I guess, of the queries to really know what is going on there, and if it takes more time. The bigger test that I did locally, it was to commit 10,000 compositions, and I executed also a query that was really simple, and it ran really fast. It took like 324 milliseconds. I have my notes here. So that is with 10,000 compositions in the server, but the query is really small and also has a limit on the results. So it is expected to be fast, but it is not so fast as having less data in the server. So that give us some idea that increasing the data increases the delay of the query, or the execution time of the query. But the queries are so simple that are really fast, really, even if we have a lot of data. It takes a lot of time also to commit all the compositions. So if I need to do a bigger load in the server, I will need a lot of running time. So for a really big test, it will be better to do server to server loading, like in one server running this, in a batch way, keep it running for a day or so, and then check the results if everything was committed correctly or whatever. We can generate different reports. This is just a simple report on the terminal, but we can generate a report on a file or send an email or whatever. And yeah, with one server running the test, another server running the EHR base, I think we could make also a better test suite, because we are also including the delays of internet in the middle, because I don't have internet delays here. This is just localhost against localhost is my local area network. So we need to add those. So we'll be like, with internet delays, will be like 200 milliseconds extra, or 350 or something like that. And yeah, with more data and more complex queries, we will also get bigger times here. Right now it's behaving okay, but my load is really small and my queries are really simple. Yeah, that's all for now.